Paris, 1899. The intermission of an opera, the Opera Comique, to be precise. 7 men gather at intermission in the foyer with the hopes of catching the eyes of some young French, Parisian, gorgeous ladies, hoping for some flirtation and who knows what else later that night. That's what this fragrance is about. Hi guys, it's Touchwood. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. So today I'm reviewing a fragrance called Boutonierre Numéro 7 or Boutonierre number 7 by Arquiste. I have recently delved really far into this brand and smelled everything they have to offer, and I hope to review all of them. I'm starting with this one because it's the one that I've kind of discovered a lot recently and learnt and got to know and befriended, whatever other words you want to say. So Arquiste are a brand that have really piqued my interest, only because if you've watched my videos before you will know that I really love a fragrance that has a great backstory, a good backbone, a good theme, a good feeling, and Arquiste in particular, excuse me one second, sorry. Arquiste in particular view their fragrances as scent capsules, olfactory capsules that are supposed to capture a specific moment in time in history in all different parts of the world. They are all themed on one thing or another. This particular fragrance, Boutonierre, which translates in English to buttonhole, is themed on a group of 7 men, that's why it's called Boutonierre number 7, that have gathered in intermission in the foyer of an opera. And they are wearing in their buttonholes, or boutonnieres, gardenia flowers. It's also known as the opera flower, so they really went to town with the theme on this one. And this fragrance is kind of themed on the smell of gardenias, mingled with the fougère, lavender-based colognes that the men would have probably been wearing around that time as well. So it's a moment in history, it's a nod to the end of the 19th century and a particular place and time, and I absolutely love the idea. So let me go through the notes with you. So the top notes are French lavender, Calabrese bergamot, or is it Calabrese bergamot, and Italian mandarin. The heart notes are Gardenia jasminoids and Gardenia citriodora duo. It's 2 things combined. Now, jasminoids I have been kind of learning a little bit about because it signifies a collection of plants that flower jasmine. It can be star jasmine or a different type of jasmine. There's lots of different types, but the fragrance, the stuff that's in this fragrance that's supposed to resemble gardenia comes more from a jasminoid plant. Not sure why they didn't just chuck loads of gardenia in it, but never mind. And then also it's got Genet Absolute, or Genet if I'm going to be really common, which is otherwise known as broom. It's a little shrub. And then you have Violet Leaf Absolute in the heart as well. The base notes are labdanum, vetiver, Croatian oak moss and castoreum. Let that just swirl around in your head for a minute. So let me just spray it on my hand. I have worn this a few times recently. I know I say that every time, but I won't just do a review based off of one wearing. It's not right, it's not fair, and I don't really get to know the fragrance properly. So what does it smell like? This to me is essentially a fougère fragrance, and if you don't know what that is, I'll quickly explain. It is a style of fragrance that dates back centuries. I mean, we're talking about 1899 right now, and it's a gentlemanly kind of style of fragrance. It's masculine, men wore them a lot and still do now, although there's modern fougères now. And they usually feature lavender, geranium, some kind of woody element. They're quite herbaceous, quite gentlemanly, masculine. But lavender really is one of the main things that you will find in a fougère, so it's in this fragrance as well. However, this smells, to me, off of the bat, you can really smell both things happening. You can feel a fougère underneath, You can feel a very dry feeling. The fragrance overall is an extremely dry fragrance. It's one of the driest fragrances I've ever smelled, actually. I've got so much to say, I'm trying to get my words out. Slow down, Tom. So you can feel this fougere underneath, you can feel lavender, you can feel a herbaceous feeling, but the lavender in this is not aggressive. Lavender can sometimes be really herbal and camphorous, and you know, pretty much everyone knows what lavender smells like, I'm guessing. It's subtle. Everything in this is subtle, and that's one side of it. You can also feel a very dry jasmine, gardenia type feeling. It's very light. The whole thing feels a little bit ghostly to me and a little bit cold. So this isn't an in-your-face jasmine or gardenia, because gardenia can be so luscious and really a powerful white floral as well as jasmine. But what they've done with this is they've made it smell very dry, kind of ghostly, cold feeling, and it's almost ethereal, I'm going to say. I think it was designed, you know, if you picture what the theme of this fragrance is, it's the scent of a gardenia flower in someone's lapel or in someone's boutonniere mingling with a fragrance they're already wearing. I don't think it's meant to be overly aggressive. I feel like it's meant to be a flirtation of a fragrance, something that you can just barely detect if you come closer. This is all about, I guess, a little bit of seduction or a little bit of male vibrato. I know I said vibrato, I meant bravado. But yes, although it feels like a fougere and it does have that kind of masculine dry feeling, the jasmine in it, or the gardenia feeling in it that's very dry, like I mentioned, gives it a little bit of a feminine twist, because it does smell more floral than anything else. So that's what you get from it, that's what I get from it. I can really feel a kind of herbiness going on, because lavender is very herby anyway, but then you've got this kind of, it's almost like a transparent gardenia jasmine feeling over the top. So if you like jasmine but find it too strong, this might be a really good one for you. It's kind of cool in that way. And I'll end the review, because it's going to end very soon, by saying that this is a very extremely linear fragrance. I don't really get much development at all from it. It really kind of stays the same way. I think maybe the jasmine kind of backs off a tiny bit, but it is slightly ghostly and ethereal. I really have to do this to smell it, and I've worn this fully on myself a few times from the bottle as well, and it's kind of breathy and cold, and I really just like the theming. So I'm going to end by saying plus points about this fragrance. I love the theme. It's really great. It's nice to have a kind of white floral fougere mix that isn't so aggressive. It's calm in that way, cold and ghostly, I said that. The downsides are, when I look at the Arquiste line as a range, there are much more exciting things and much stronger things, much more bold things. They do have quite a good range in terms of, they've got some gourmand things, they've got really heavy florals, they've got some resinous things going on, which I'll review eventually. But the downside is, it's quite linear and it's quite close to the skin, but it's a linger fragrance. I think it was meant to be designed like that. So that's what I want to say about it. In terms of longevity, I don't think it's super amazing. Because it's soft, not soft, but because it's light anyway, the overall feeling and theme of the fragrance is light, it doesn't super project or last for 24 hours. I do think that there are much better ones in the line, I have to be honest, but I think it fits the theme, and I like it for that reason. But longevity on me is probably about 4 or 5 hours, and that's at best. Anyway, that was my review of Boutonierre number 7. Number 7, to signify the 7 men gathering in the foyer. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm out, show my logo, hit my logo down there to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another review. Goodbye.